I'm delighted to be joined today by Suresh Balaji, Chief Marketing Officer at Lloyds Banking Group and one of the most passionate advocates for putting experience at the heart of growth and business success. Suresh, welcome.
Thank you, Mary. Great to see you again. It's been such a pleasure having conversations about brand growth and experience over the last few weeks with you. And amazing to think about what prompted me to reach out to you was actually an article that's connected to your podcast, where you had written about experience-led brands. I paraphrase, and I haven't seen many people talk about this in the industry. And I thought, oh, there is somebody who's like-minded. And we work a lot with Kantara, of course. And I thought, my word, how have we not had this conversation given what our teams are doing together? So it's been an amazing few chats, and I'm glad that we are able to put some of our thoughts on a podcast.
I have to say, I feel as elated now as I was when I first received a message from you. So thank you very much for saying it. Very kind words. And what I'm going to say in return, but I was planning to say it anyway, is that you make it look very easy, Suresh. I mean, in under just 2 years at Lloyds, you've led digital and data-driven transformations that have delivered world-class, meaningful, and different experiences for a diverse customer base. I mean, this is one of the key challenges we raise in our Diary of a CMO report, the one that you refer to, and I cannot think of a better person to debate. So let me get straight to the point.
Thank you.
Does your success come down to aligning brand and customer experience, to having an integrated brand and experience strategy?
Great question. Look, firstly, very kind introduction. Thank you so much. It's not me. I represent 300 years of history of Lloyds Banking Group and all the amazing things my predecessors did. They built incredible franchise, which has brought us to 28 million customers in the group. So what that creates is it creates a space of abundance. It creates abundance of data. It creates abundance of opportunity to experiment. It creates different products and services that we can test these theories on. If you're a small business, then you can only test in a linear fashion. With a large business like ours, which is universal bank, we can test ideas on the consumer business, ideas in the lending business, ideas in the transport business, and ideas in the pensions business, or even the B2B businesses. And the culmination of all of those experiments is where our view of where brand growth can come from, and we believe that brand growth is not going to come only through advertising. It's not going to come only through physical mental availability. It's not going to come only through improved distribution. It is going to come through improving experiences for customers eventually. And if you think about the from to for brands, for a large business like ours, with 28 million customers, you want to be able to serve your customers well. And Jane, my boss, the consumer relationship CEO, she says that the experience is the product. So if you, back in the day, the question was always about brand marketing versus product marketing. And that conversation seems to have moved to brand and experience. The minute we understand it's one and the same thing, I think the industry will do a better job, and we will be able to fight our competition where we need to fight our competition in the experience layer. And that's what is exciting. It is historically, if you talk about what we used to do and what even now, I think a lot of CMOs end up doing is they mirror their internal organization in the way that they track what they track from a customer perspective. So there's a brand team that tracks brand, and there's an experience team that tracks experience. And more often than not, brands, if you land up setting very high expectations and not delivering on the experience, I think you're actually being detrimental to the brand rather than actually helping the brand grow. So we are steadfast in our view that experience-led brands is the way to go. We are steadfast in our view that the brand needs codified into every touch point. We are really steadfast in our view that without delivering those, irrespective of B2B or B2C, I think brands are not going to grow in the world that I'm in. I speak for financial services.
Yes. Yeah, you find me in full agreement, by the way. And from where I'm sitting, I've seen firsthand how you and your team have embraced a customer-centric approach, one that's grounded in insights, and they're focused on designing experiences that truly resonate with consumers. And that aligns perfectly with what we know from our research, that experiences shape brand memories, and those memories drive decisions. So tell me, please, Suresh, how do you ensure that every touch point reinforces the brand and leaves a positive impression?
At the heart of it is to look at both research-led metrics as well as behavior-led metrics, right? So going back to your point about data-led brand transformation is looking at where are the customers at this point in time? What journeys are they taking? How do we compare versus competition and versus best in class outside competition? Where are we setting benchmarks for ourselves and how far do we want to go? The other interesting piece is how do you know that every touch point is a Lloyd's touch point is the big question. So customers come into each of our channels to do a certain task. And how do we ensure all of that tantamounts in some way? It's all connected to a total experience end to end. I'm also fortunate because sometimes structure drives outcomes. Structurally, I have an advantage over lots of other businesses because my world is called brand marketing and experience. So we have brand portfolio strategists, we have marketing folks who think about what should we do of us and how should we have conversations with us. We also have designers in the organization that are in 40 different platforms, and their job is to do user experience design, user interface design, service design, even systems thinking to put together what should an ideal Lloyd's experience look, feel, taste, smell like. And I think it's the sum total of all of what all these people do is what actually drives that brand-led transformation. And our insights organization is not just looking at, let's go out there and do some research. I think the insights organization brings external research to bear with our internal behavior data to mine the insights that we need when it comes to customer journeys, when it comes to journey mapping, when it comes to what will make customers use our products more, be engaged with what they need to do. And if you think about human beings and the way we engage with finances, let's take insurance, for example, right? In the insurance space, insurance is a one and done thing. You buy a product, you never engage ever after. But it's one of the most important decisions you make. And then the behavioral economists in our team will have to figure out how do we bring them back to engage in the fact that they actually know that A, they have bought a product, B, this is what it looks like, sounds like, this is what the key benefits are, and how do they actually realize those benefits. So we also our experienced designers came up with this amazing concept. So if you speak to any technology organization, they will talk about technology debt. This is the debt of, oftentimes, the background to this is everyone says that you don't want perfect to be the enemy of good. You want to get an MVP journey out. You want customers to go through it. And that's what modern technology allows us. So in the fast-paced environments we all operate in, which is tech-fueled, we want to get journeys to customers. It should also be, it's not like building a branch, right? You build a branch and this is the way it looks and it's brick and mortar. The ability for our digital technologies to allow us to change configuration of design, change the journeys is an important one. So if you just look at one thing and just measure one thing, it's not going to be helpful. So as the technology organization thinks about technology debt, when they use legacy technology or legacy stacks, our experienced designers call it experience debt. So when they go live with the journey, they say, what's the ease of this journey? And how many breaking points are there, or how many issues are there, how much negative friction is there, and then they tag it as experience debt, and then we count it. It's numerical, and then you just go, this is the amount of experience debt we carry in this onboarding journey, and the next time we refresh it in the next few weeks, in the next release or the next version, we will reduce the debt, and then you can get to a point where you get experience debt to zero, which means it's 100%. Useful, usable, delightful experiences, and customers are happy. And in those experiences, we also want to ensure that they're distinctively Lloyds. and we can talk about it later. But I think it's important to it's in the ubiquitous nature of technology. How does the brand stand out? Everyone will be on the cloud. Everyone will have an app. Every brand will have user experience designers. But eventually, what will stand out is the way you then codify your brand in those experiences. So, which is why brand and experience to be seen as two sides of the same amazing coin.
Excellent. Experience that, a brilliant and very easy to grasp concept. Now, Suresh, you're clearly passionate about digital and data-led change. You've used technology to create seamless, personalized experiences that boost engagement and satisfaction. How do you strike a balance between innovation and also maintaining a consistent brand experience?
Amazing question, Mary. I think this is a piece that our team discuss a lot. The core to this is to be able to provide broad enough guardrails. Our chief exec calls it the freedom within the framework. You've got to be able to play, you've got to make the framework large enough that there is enough freedom for operating in some sense. And if you think about Lloyds Banking Group, the privilege of a Lloyds Banking Group is that we have the range of customers that we have across demographic sectors, across the regions, across the UK and outside the UK. If you across businesses and stages of businesses and life stages that we respond to, and we need to be able to think about all of these segments and what they want, what needs they want to solve with us or without us or around us, and bring them the right experiences. And those experiences are delivered by 40 different platforms. And the only way we can go fast to delivering these experiences is to federate experience design development. But therein comes the challenge that you're talking about. Each of those teams, if they're innovating, how do they then stick to what is the total experience of Lloyds? So we built something called the Kankara operating system. Kankara operating system is the name of the first horse that appeared on Lloyd's TV ads. You can see Kankara over my shoulder. The Lloyd's horse didn't have a name. 18 months ago, we named the horse Kankara. We built an operating system that is now used by designers, engineers, journey mappers, external agency partners, everyone, to say it's not the old brand book, but it's all the components which live and breathe. It's almost, imagine a GitHub for brand where everyone can fork elements that they want, whether it is Figma templates or whether it is Adobe templates or whether it is dynamic tools. And one of the modules that we're adding onto it is the testing module. So can we, as we speak, that is going to go live soon, can we use synthetic data to test inside the operating system before we actually publish versions, and then we can do A/B testing, multivariate testing, component testing, all of those downstream in the process. But early on, within using technology, can we fuel innovation, but within the framework is the opportunity. I think Kankara OS beta was live last year, alpha went live this year, version 2, second half. It's a living, breathing thing, and everyone uses it. And someday we will publish it maybe externally for people to look at, and maybe even open source it. But it is the way we truly believe that experience-led brands can be built.
Yes, well, I very much look forward to it being published externally. So Suresh, I want to thank you for sharing such thoughtful insights. I mean, it's clear that your approach to aligning brand and experience isn't just strategic, it's transformative. And whether we see it in brand, CX, or journey design, keeping an eye on our experience debt, as you called it, is essential. And at the end of the day, we should all be striving to create inimitable, magically different on-brand experiences throughout the consumer journey. And when we do, the impact on market share won't be far behind. It's been a real pleasure having you with me today. I want to thank you and say bye for now.
Thanks a lot. See you soon. Bye.
Bye. See you soon.